Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stogie Geeks Show, episode 10. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geeks Show. This is episode 10, and I'm your host, Paul Asadorian. Hope everyone has lit up a very fine cigar and poured themselves your favorite beverage, kicking back and listening to the show. It's how we recommend that you do it.
Absolutely.
I'll go around here in the studio. I'm here, of course, with Tim Muggerini. Welcome, Tim.
Hola.
And the one, the only, Stogie Santa is in the house.
Good evening.
Welcome, Stogie Santa, to the show.
Thank you very much.
We got some cigars.
Yes, we do.
Let's start off with the cigar of the week.
Yes.
Cigar of the week this week is the CAIN F Lancer.
We just lit up. And,
We did. We've been smoking for a little bit here. We like to get a little ways into the cigar and then start the show, so we're not, cutting and lighting. And then there's the
click,
well, there's
click,
what's
click.
this? The click. There's this sound, and then there's this sound, Oh my God, my eyebrow! You gotta be careful. I got some thick eyebrows, That's an ethnic thing.
You have ashed on yourself twice tonight
Already, I think we took pictures of it.
Yes.
We found that I have the ability to ash on myself in new and interesting ways.
Yes.
So the other day, Stogie said, I don't know if you were there for this one, but I was holding a cigar, and I ashed, and it went down my sleeve and burned my arm.
Interesting.
That's Huh?
That takes some talent right
Try
there,
that.
man.
I encourage everyone to try that. See if you can actually do that. I challenge our listeners out there. See if you can ash on yourself the ways that I ash on myself.
Awesome.
So
Do you have
usually I'm just like covered in ash.
Do you have marks? Do you have burns?
I do. You know what's funny? I was
It
thinking
looks like you're
about
missing some on here.
I do. The scar has kind of faded away. I don't know if it'll show up on the video, but on my hand there is a scar, and I'll tell you the story before we get the show going here. I was and it's all Stogie Santa's fault because he sold me the most gigantic CAO America.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
It's like an A, it's a 9 by 54 or whatever it
The
is.
Ron Jeremy of cigars.
Yes, and it was July 4th, and I went out on the boat doing a little fishing, and it was windy that day. We remember July 4th, 2011 here in New England, in Little
yes.
Island anyway. It was windy. And I was out there, and, I got the big ash going on, and I'm fishing, and a big gust of wind came and blew, like, not just the ash, but, like, the really hot, like coal cinder stuff off the cigar, and it stuck to my hand, like right between my thumb and my forefinger, and burned me. Like I had blisters. That's how bad it burned
Ouch.
me. So I will. I'll never forget. I still have the scars to prove the CAO America.
War wounds.
And it wasn't a very phenomenal smoke either. It was kind of meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of meh. Tim, make sure you get close enough to your mic there, buddy. Don't be afraid of it.
Up close.
Yeah, I gave you a chair that you can adjust.
Should I make the rest area joke? Or?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's old. It's old.
It's old.
Over and done. But yeah, I'm gonna get some headsets for the show.
Okay.
Show logistics. I'm pricing out headsets. So
Let's talk about the smoke.
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
CAIN F Lancer.
Just came
I
in?
want to, I almost want to lead in with this that this was a limited edition production, and they claim on their website. This is of course made by Olivia. And they claim on their website that if you look at the Studio Tobacco, so I guess, I don't know, tough way to start with all of this CAIN F Lancer business.
Okay.
So we'll start with Studio Tobacco. So when Studio Tobacco, I first started hearing this phrase, I was like, what is Studio Tobacco? Is it Olivia? Is it CAIN? Is it, what is it? So the internet, of course, provides me with all of the answers. And it says, the internet told me, Studio Tobacco is the research and design group within the Olivia family of cigars. Studio Tobacco's goal is to provide excitement and innovation to premium cigar smokers worldwide. So there's your answer to the question.
I'm excited.
So this is a production of Studio Tobacco. a product of Studio Tobacco.
Okay.
Absolutely.
With the CAIN F Lancero. So they also said that, and I quote, the Lancero will not be in regular production and therefore will not be for sale to the general public. So I've read all of these reviews about the CAIN F Lancero, and I'm like, wow, I wasn't a big fan of the regular CAIN line, but this Lancero thing sounds like it's the bomb, and I want to try it. And I wasn't able to really get my hands on one.
You had to get it.
So they said it'll only be available in the limited edition Studio Tobacco cigar sampler, which we have a picture of on the website.
Okay.
And the CAIN F Lancero is packaged in an aluminum tube, making it the only Lanceros ever to be in a tubo format. That's a bold claim. It's a bold claim. Whenever you say you're the only ones to do that in cigars, usually someone's going to copy you for sure, or someone's done it before.
Oh, you have copied them.
Yes. Is it? I don't know. Is it bad to put a Lancero in a tube, or just? Well, I don't know.
No, interesting question. I don't have that answer.
It's a beautiful red tube that these came in. So anyway, so they said that it was like this limited production thing, right? And lo and behold, I start reading all of the news from Half Wheel and Cigar Coop, right? Those are the two. I mean, those guys are like, when Cigar News hits, man, they both have a post out there on it. So check out those websites, Cigar Coop and halfwheel.com. But they said that this was going to be a limited run, a regular. Stogie Santa, help me out here. So what is the ones that they've?
It's going to be a limited run.
Okay. So they did a limited run, and you can buy them now in 10 packs, 10 count boxes in red tubos, and they retail for about $6 a stick.
Correct.
It's a nice presentation.
That's a slick price, let me tell you.
Yeah,
I mean, to get a Lancero in a nice tubo. And this is so
hold
great.
Up the tubo
yeah, we'll hold up the
for the video watches.
tubo. This is the tubo that it came in. It's very nice. It is a red tubo with a yellow cap. Very nice. I like the presentation. Not that that affects the taste of a cigar in any way, shape, or fashion. However, it is a nice presentation. Now, the other box that they were referring to as the limited edition Studio Tobacco cigar sampler is available, or was available online. I found it on atlanticcigar.com.
Okay.
And I really thought this was available at events. I didn't realize retailers could even sell it.
Neither did I.
And so I found it, and I bought one for $120. Now, I thought that was an inflated price of $120 because it comes with 8 cigars plus 3 in a Culebra.
Okay.
So I was like, well, that's kind of pricey compared to the $6 per cigar, but I'm told that $120 is the price for that set. So,
now, out of the 8 cigars, it appears that these have 2 different wrappers.
Yes.
4 of them are a CAIN F Lancero,
Okay.
and 4 of them are a CAIN Daytona Lancero.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, what's the difference between?
I find that the V is a lot spicier.
You mean
than
the F?
Excuse me.
Yep.
I got V on my mind. The F has much more spice. The Daytona is okay. It's a fairly average smoke, but I just find the F has that spicy, peppery.
No, what's the Culebra inside? Is that an F or a Daytona or something different?
That's a great question. I haven't even lit that up yet, so I'll get that answer on our next episode. I'll ask the rep on it, or we'll have to use the internet to find out. But I'll go to the horse's mouth.
I'll have to smoke it.
There you go.
It looks scrumptious, actually.
Yeah.
There's a picture in the show notes of the Studio Tobacco CAIN sampler and the regular, the newer release of the limited edition CAIN F Lancer. And we're smoking the ones from the red tubos tonight.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you think of yours so far, Tim?
Opened with a ton of spice. Surprised me a little bit. I mean, this thing was a powerhouse when it opened. It settled down a bit.
A pepper flavor.
I would say
Oh,
so.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a nice pepper, though.
Yeah.
I don't say that in a bad way at all. I think it's a nice pepper. I'm
It
enjoying
settled
it.
down. I mean, it is not the first cigar I've smoked of the day, which I'm rather glad of, and I had a good-sized meal, so
Now,
I'm enjoying
it is a straight Lajero.
Right. It is, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so it's all Lajero tobacco inside the cigar, which is stronger, obviously.
Yep.
So we've talked about Lajero on the show before.
And I almost asked
Top of the plant, most nutrients, that kind of thing.
I almost asked for myself, Paul.
And so we are. So I should say this is all Nicaraguan tobacco, Nicaraguan
it's
Puro.
Puro.
Doesn't say where in Nicaragua it comes from. Obviously from the Oliva farms.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be Esteli.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, it's a good point, Stogie Santa. On the Studio Tobacco sampler, it does say Esteli, Nicaragua. So, and it is a Lancero format in a 7x42, and again, the MSRP is $6. which I think is a great price for this.
I mean, thus far, I'm pretty impressed with it for the price point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it just builds up more and more flavor.
Yeah, I'm sure as we smoke down, there's going to be a lot more flavors to be had in this cigar. Very nice. I should say we are coming off an event. Our palates are not fresh tonight.
No, not
certainly
at all.
not. We went to actually an Ashton event held here locally.
Yep.
And smoked Ashton cigars.
Ate Italian,
Ate Italian food.
drank scotch, and smoked Ashton VSGs.
It was horrible. It was, it's hard
Our
work.
palate is not fresh.
No. So we started off with the Elegancia Toro.
Yep.
And then we moved to an Ashton VSG, the Robusto size.
Correct.
Both very good. Oh, we both thought the Robusto was a little young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had smoked one actually this past weekend during a snowstorm with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And I think that one had about a year's age.
I think I thought the same thing about the Elegancia, because one of the ones I smoked from an event that my friend attended and gave me seemed like it had a little more balance and smoothness that age, I think, helps foster. So
now the one we smoked tonight was the Toro. Is that correct?
The Elegancia was a Toro.
Okay.
Yes,
I have not tried that size until tonight.
It was good. I liked it a
Yeah,
lot.
so-
I mean, before you eat and you're just enjoying something before dinner, it's a great breakfast smoke. I think it's got lots of flavor. I rank it up there with the Camacho 1118 EPC New Wave Connecticut. It's
Absolutely.
straight up there.
Now the Elegancia, did you get that little right in the beginning? Some people say yes, some people say no. That little small spice in the front.
I did.
I mean, it dissipates quickly.
Yes, it
and
does.
it's really for Connecticut. It's an enjoyable cigar. I should say Ecuadorian.
Did you unplug the heater? Because it got quieter. It was pretty funny. You're roasting. It's
I'm
all right.
cooking over here, man.
Yeah. You know what
And the noise level just went
forgot to
down
do
about
though?
2
Is open the
decibels.
windows.
I think it's because when we were at that event, it was like I thought it was gonna rain. There was like big clouds
there
of
had to
smoke.
be 100 people in that.
It was
place.
there was 100 people all
Yeah.
smoking. It's a pretty big event place, but it was very, very smoky, and I think Tim and I just got used to that, and we forgot to open the window here in the workshop.
Do you want me to hit that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, you know what? If you want to, let's do this, Tim. Let's move on to talking about the. Well, what are we drinking? Let's talk about what we're drinking. We're drinking some beers.
Yeah, we have a mixed bag here tonight. Stogie Santa and I are hitting the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale again for the second episode in a row. Love this stuff. Can't get enough of it. What'd you go with, Paul?
I went with a Leffe Blonde, Belgian ale.
Okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
it's very good. I find it pairs pretty well with cigars. Beer, I find, is tougher to pair with a cigar.
Yeah.
Speaking of pairings, though,
Oh, yes.
this is a pairing everyone has to try. Ashton VSG plus Macallan 12-year.
Yeah, that worked out nice.
Macallan's a space side. It's got a nice, a different kind of body, I find, than a Highland.
Yes.
It's tough to describe the difference without actually sipping a couple, and really comparing them.
Yeah.
But they're very different. A space side I find to be a little like sweeter, more caramel type flavors.
Less peaty.
Yeah, with a Highland, Highlands get that little touch of peatiness,
Yeah.
little touch of smokiness, like just a hint, but it tends to be a little more crisp.
It is
on
more
the
difficult
palate.
to pair with
Yes, it's a little overpowering on the Highlands.
smokes, in my experience.
Space sides definitely go really well, I find, with cigars. Now the Macallan, 18 years.
Well, that's an elite by its own.
yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So Ashton VSG, Macallan 12-year.
But-
We learned about a new pairing.
And reasonably priced, too, I might add.
But yeah, I'd say, they're not I wouldn't classify either the cigar or the scotch as inexpensive.
No, not at all. But
I mean, you're going to pay $45 to $50 for the bottle of scotch, and VSG's on the low end of Tres Mystique's going to be between $8 and $10,
Yes.
depending on where you get it, taxes, where you live, that kind of thing. So, very good.
fully
Tim,
recommend.
do you want to start us off with what we've been smoking? Now, we took a week off, so we've got rather lengthy lists of what we've been smoking. And we'll check back with this CAIN F Lancer, which I'm enjoying very much.
Yeah, due to head colds and sinus
Doo-doo?
infections and doo-doo.
Doo-doo? Oh,
Well,
sorry.
Rocco is in the studio. Rocco
Yes,
the
where's
dog.
Rocco's here. He's right here. He's doing good.
Rocco.
We
Mask
got
off
the,
a smoke.
the Rocco. We got the pug in the studio tonight.
Anyways, yeah, let's start off with my list. La Flor Dominicana Reserva Especial Robusto. You gave me this a while back. Finally got to smoking it.
Comes with a gift set
Does it? Okay.
that comes with 3 or 4 Stogie Santa.
I believe it's 4.
It's 4, and crummy lighter and the cutter,
Exactly.
and but this had some age on it. This is from like an old gift set.
I'll tell you what, man, it still had some power too.
Yes, yeah, they have a
holy-
tendency to do that.
First thing I put in the show notes is Holy Pepper Batman. This thing opened up with some pepper, and it took me by surprise because I wasn't expecting it. I would say overall, the stick wasn't bad, but I did think it lacked some balance. By the second third, the pepper settled down a bit, and some of the other flavors began to emerge. But until that point, the pepper overpowered a lot of the flavors that were in the background.
Really?
Yeah, that's at least what I got.
I
off of
see.
it.
I like those cigars a lot. Now I don't know. I don't remember which one I smoked. It comes with this in that gift set, a Connecticut shade. Is it a Connecticut?
Yeah, it's a Connecticut.
Yeah,
yes.
Connecticut.
You guys talked about that once before.
That one's really good. It's
Yeah.
different. It's different.
And interesting, which again, off the beaten track a little bit, but with the LFD, we're all in anticipation of their Candelas that are coming out.
The double
Yes.
Claro, yes.
Yeah.
Double Claro.
I've talked to you. I think I called you twice this week looking
right.
for.
So
But,
anyway, back to our
yeah, the Reserva
Assessment.
Special Robusto. I think the last third really shined on the cigar.
Yeah.
It was the
Well,
most
and that's a
enjoyable
sign of a
part.
nicely aged and balanced cigar. Is that it's got a good finish.
Yeah. And there was some cedar, nuts, a nice toasty finish. In the end, I gave it the 5-er.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know.
It
If
got better as it progressed.
I liked just buying a few of those sample sets and having them on hand because I
Yes.
find them to be a little different, little nice change of pace kind of cigar.
Absolutely, it was a nice
Yeah.
change of pace, but it's something that I wouldn't want to stock.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I
in
agree.
great quantities. So
Tops on my list.
you got quite the list, man.
I smoked some serious Cuban cigars.
Yes, you
I upped my stock of Cuban cigars recently, and bought about 4 or 5 boxes. I thought it was time to kind of stock up on some of that stuff.
I'm
And,
envious.
yeah, I did. I stocked up. Well, Christmas and my birthday, and so I did some Cuban cigar stocking, if you will. And we'll start off with a Punch Double Corona from 2011. Now, Stogie Santa gifted me a Punch Double Corona from 2006,
Which you
and
smoked on the show.
which I smoked on the
couple
show.
episodes ago.
And I mean, night and day difference. I mean, these sticks need a little age. My notes here, same kind of smoking experience though, which is why I bought the box. That I think Cigar Aficionado had Punch Double Corona on their list.
yes.
Yes, that was on their list.
believe
Yes, it
top
was.
10.
Top 10.
Top 10, and it said they were smoking well, so I bought the box. Now, this is a massive stick. It burned really well and had great construction. I mean, you can puff on this cigar. It doesn't get harsh. It doesn't get bitter. It just continues with the nice flavors that it's presenting. I really like that because I remember you commented when I was smoking the one from 2006, I was sucking it down.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
finished that thing in no
Yeah.
time.
But that's what you can do with this stick, and it holds up really well to that. So it's a great smoking experience. Earth and cedar flavors, I think, predominantly those are the flavors that I get from most Cubans. I found it to be a little unbalanced and a bit young.
Okay.
This was from 2011. It doesn't have a whole lot of age. In fact, it was out of all the boxes I got, it probably had the least amount of age on it. Probably only a few months off the box date.
Okay.
So, and I like the way the Cuban cigars have the date on the box. I wish more people would do that. So it just needs to be some age. I'd say it's a 5-er, the way it stands now. However, I did buy a box
Time to put it away.
with the intention of aging it, where I hope it'll just get. I mean, we say cigars get better. I think they get a lot more balanced and smoother with age. So,
Excellent.
in that this cigar, if it does that, is going to be probably the same as I smoked from the one from 2006. So
You have something to look forward to now.
that's right.
All right. Ah, yes. Next on my list, the Padilla Signature 1932 Robusto. Not any, but one of the original releases.
Yes.
So
How old are these? 4 years. At least 4 years.
I think they were at least from 07. They released in 06, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They changed the label in 08 or 09.
I
Don't
don't.
you say
I don't know for sure.
Anyways, these are one of the original Pepin blended Padilla Signature 1932. So let me start. I bought a lot of these last year.
Yeah, they went on closeout.
Yes, at our local
And we
brick and mortar.
Bought them up.
I remember being on the train with you, going down to D.C. about a year ago, almost to this day, actually.
Yes.
You were mentioning them to me. We got back. Stogie Santa, you brought me out back, opened up a box which was covered in plume, and I immediately bought the entire box. And
Wow, so I thought it was-
then I smoked a couple and called them up 2 days later and bought more. I think in the end I probably bought close to 2 boxes of them
Oh, easily.
and smoked every single one in about 9 months' time. This was my
See, I
last
still
one.
have quite a few kicking around, and they've got another year of age on them.
Yes, they do.
So I should probably smoke them.
They're still smoking good, man.
Yeah.
They're still smoking good. This was the last one I had. I smoked it. I reviewed it for the site. The balance, the scent off the wrapper, the complexity. I mean, the creamy finish on that last third.
See, the first couple I smoked were like that, and then I smoked one and I wasn't as impressed.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can give them all to me.
I did. I
will
gave Tim
gladly-
one because he was raving about it and he was all out. So I gave Tim one.
Actually, you gave me 2.
Did I?
You
Did I?
gave me the Churchill too.
You took the Churchill, but that's
Yes.
all right.
You told
I was
me-
like, oh, Tim, look, I have a Churchill. He's like, oh yeah, thanks. Smoke it, enjoy. It's okay.
If you can find some of these, I've had the newer ones. I believe they're out of production, but you can still
Correct.
find some of the newer ones online. The way to tell the difference is the originals had more of a bubble type of lettering on the labels, where the newer ones, the 1932 is in a cursive
Mhm.
type
Right.
font. The new ones are good. I don't know if it's a blend thing or if it's just an age thing, but those originals, the Oasis, hands down.
Nice.
And if you can find them,
They are good.
I recommend them.
And the two that went under the radar because I ended up taking them was the 68 and the 48. There was a lot of people didn't realize that
Yep.
particular smoke. It was
There
really
are
excellent.
I think
It's
it's
very Cuban-
StogieGuys.com
very
rates a Padilla Series 68 with age on it
Oh,
like a 5 Stogies out of 5 is what
it
they
is
rate it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Talk about Cubanesque type flavors.
I think I bought a 5-pack online of the Series 68 to just age them.
Now, jog my memory, Stogie Santa. You gave me a 68 and a Miami, and I want to say it was the Miami had a similar flavor profile of the 32. Was that correct?
No, it didn't have that. You know, that 32 had that spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
this-
Miami was different.
The Miami. No, you're talking about 68, correct?
I can't remember if it was the 68 or the Miami.
I don't remember the 68. I think the 32 and the Miami, totally different blends.
Yeah.
Totally
Okay.
different blends. The Miami's are smoother, it's almost. I don't want to use the word creamier, but more of a earthy flavor. It doesn't have any spice whatsoever. With 32, it's right off the bat, right through the whole cigar.
Yeah, but it's not in your It's not
In your
in your
face.
face spice.
It's a very subtle throughout the whole
It's
cigar.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
I had a Ramon Allione specially selected Robusto sized from 2011, and it's just a nice birding, flavorful little smoke. The stick just poured smoke, had outstanding flavors. You know, that earthy, almost kind of I'd describe it as, from what I can remember, a creamy kind of smoke texture to it.
Okay.
It was really, really good. I like these a lot. I mean, they're priced awesome too. They're only like $6 a stick.
Yeah, they really are.
And it's a box-worthy purchase, hands down.
I know. I just purchased a box the other day.
Yeah,
It's on
and,
its
but
way,
it's
so.
and I've had some aged ones of these too, and I've had some of the newer ones, and they're just phenomenal.
Yeah, I
I like
believe
that
I
stick a lot.
reviewed the 05 a couple weeks back on the site.
I think one of the best value Cuban cigars out there.
Yeah, the 05 smoked fantastic. Did a
Yes.
little research online. Everybody in the forums is saying the 2010s and the 2011s are smoking good.
They are.
And I pulled the trigger this week. Ordered a box myself.
Nice.
So agree 100%.
Box worthy. Another one, and this is out of all the Cuban cigars I smoked this week, and there's quite a few left on here on the list. This is hands down my favorite, and this is the San Cristobal de la Habana La Punta size.
Very nice.
This one's from 2011. Now I had some from 2005, and those were just phenomenal. Those are the Oasis, right? Those are
Okay.
the crawl across the desert of broken glass to get your hands on the 2005s. These 2011s are definitely box worthy, and the thing that I like about them is they have those earthy flavors, but they've got this underlying floral note to them. And I didn't really realize it until
If it's done right, man, it
it's
can be incredible.
it is. It reminded me of when I walk into somewhere and someone's smoking a pipe, it had that almost
Aromatic.
the room aroma was that aromatic floral scent, and you
Yep.
get a hint of that on your palate when you smoke it, and it just makes it such an enjoyable smoke to get those little bits of floral notes, with a little bit of the earthy flavors, and I really, really love this. I smoked this in the car the other day, and I was running some errands, and it was awesome. It was really awesome.
No,
I
do you have-
really like these cigars.
Now, the 2005, did you have the same floral notes as the 11?
The 2005 had those similar kind of floral notes. It tended to be a lot more complex in its flavors.
Was it more balanced, maybe, so you could pick out the other flavors?
Yeah, it was a little smoother,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you what, you gave me one earlier tonight, and the scent off the wrapper alone, I was pretty sure I had to go clean up after you gave it to me because I was pretty excited. So I'll be taking that down this weekend.
I mean,
So,
that's almost you buy 2 boxes. In fact, I put there in my notes, buy 2 boxes, 1 to smoke, 1 to age.
excellent.
Okay, right.
It's a double box purchase.
What's next on my list?
Go ahead, Tim. Bait fish.
More bait fish, man. I wrote, it's friggin' cold here, and these are fantastic. What more can I say? Ordered some more off of newhavanacigars.com. Paul, well done. 3rd ash of the night on yourself.
When you go to
Excellent.
5, it's going to be the best.
I'm not even trying. I wasn't even trying.
It is a Lancero, man. I almost did it to myself earlier.
Yeah.
So,
Bait fish is great. I love this stick.
every time I smoke one of these, man, I like it more and more. It really is. I wrote it up as being a $5 about a month ago, and I reviewed it. I'm going to change it, man. I'm going to Boxworthy on these. I think they're a great, short 20 to 30-minute smoke with lots of flavor. Keeps you interested, and construction's A+.
The question I have for you, Tim, is now the regular line is all 60s, 60 ring. What is the predominant difference between that bait fish and the 7x60, the 6x60, and the 5x60? What would be one thing, pinpoint it and say, what would you say the difference is?
I'm going to defer to Paul because I haven't tried the regular line.
Oh,
To
okay.
be
Yeah,
quite honest.
the regular line is the flavors are almost. I describe it as being kind of spread out amongst that big ring,
Yeah.
and you don't get that concentration of flavors that you do with the bait fish. So the flavors to me are almost lost in the larger ring gauge sizes, and I don't always find that. I'm not one of the huge big ring gauge haters out there. I do enjoy the big ring gauge cigars when done right.
It works. It works in certain blends.
It can be very nice in a lot of smokes, but this particular blend, I think it lessens the intensity of the flavors in the larger ring, certainly.
It's interesting because I must have seen 2 or 3 posts this week up on the net saying, please, please make this cigar in a Corona. Because people are loving the bait fish, but they're also finding it a little short.
Yeah.
Let's not get personal here.
Oh boy.
But
So-
yeah, man, I mean, they're smoking great. I took down another $5 this past week
Nice.
alone with the cold weather. So check it out. They're still available online, and it's a reasonable price. So
Okay. A little interjection here, gentlemen. Now you're about 3rd way through or so. I don't mean to. I want to just bring in that CAIN F. I want to.
flavors are awesome. I can't quite pick them out and pinpoint them in my brain, but whatever flavor it's giving me now, it's got that kind of that Ligero cane flavor, but it seems to be a little more concentrated and a much nicer. I get it almost like a sweeter flavor from that.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
I just had to relight mine because it did go out. But as soon as I relit it, I picked up a lot more sweetness off of it. I'm definitely tasting the Ligero in it,
Yes.
both in strength and flavor.
But it's got a sweetness to it.
But there's that sweetness to it.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny because another brand of cigars that has that same sweetness is Illusioné. And they tend to use a lot of Ligero too, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And I'm getting that same sweetness off of it that I do a lot of Illusionés. So, but have no doubt, this
You
thing
mean
has
a-
some strength.
You mean Illusion?
Illusiono, I'm sorry.
Illusioné is
I worked
that's
so
the,
hard on the Tatuahari.
You know, that was good. You actually, that was
I
a good
know,
one.
I've
You've been
practiced.
You've been in the mirror at home practicing. That's awesome.
You know, my wife's been making fun of me too. when I'm standing in front of the
Illusioné
mirror.
is that's the Canadian version.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's-
And we
Okay.
just lost the one Canadian listener we had, folks.
Okay.
Bolivar Bellicoso Finos is a much darker and deeper representation, in my opinion, of the Cuban blend. It's a really like a heavy, earthy flavor that comes off these, and I really like it. I thought the flavors were great. It's got a little bit more spice than you would
Okay.
find in some. I got a little spice off of this one. I had to smoke a few more of these. I only smoked one. The box I had almost a year off the box date. So I'm going to smoke more. Right now I'm going to say it's a 5-er, but I'm gonna smoke more, and that opinion might change.
Fair enough.
Now, Stogie Santa, you had a Bolivar.
Petit
Corona.
PCs as
you were
referred
talking
to.
about that earlier.
Oh, very, very good. $4.25 for the stick.
Now, what did you think? Did you agree with my assessment of some of the flavors and how it?
Oh,
presents
absolutely.
itself?
Yeah. Oh,
A little
absolutely.
deeper, richer.
Yeah, richer.
Yeah.
Again, everyone. I think the biggest word that everyone uses, that earthy flavor.
Yeah.
But that PC, I just love it. It's a great, great smoke. And like I'm saying, here it is. Economy is tough for everybody. You can't always go out and grab that $10 smoke.
Yep.
But when you're depending on the site you go to, you're not going to pay. It's going to be under $5 on any site that you go to.
Nice.
Mhm.
Working down the list of Cubans here. Monte Cristo Edmundo. We reviewed these on episode 4. It's a
I
much
believe it's the
lighter.
Stogie of the week, too.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's a much lighter Cuban stick. I find it very airy, kind of smooth flavors.
Yeah.
And it's not an in-your-face cedar earthy kind of thing.
No.
It's a nice, smooth,
No.
enjoyable smoke. I put very smokable.
Oh.
Right, because once you get them, you just keep smoking them because they're just very light and airy and enjoyable, and they burn great, and it's box worthy.
Oh,
Excellent.
absolutely, absolutely.
I enjoyed that smoke a great deal.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
think
I-
age is going to do wonders, too.
Absolutely.
And I think the biggest difference between the number 2, the Monte 2, and Edmundo is I don't pick up that big. I wouldn't say big spice on number 2, but you have that spicier flavor on the number 2.
Yeah.
You really do. But the El Mundo is really, for someone out there that wants to really understand a Cuban and the taste of a Cuban, the El Mundo's is by far where you want to go.
I agree.
And the price is right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. These
Yeah.
are all pretty reasonably priced. The Punch Double Coronas were the most expensive, but they're double Corona, so
It is what it is.
What are the
they can do
Edmundos? Are they like 6 a stick, 5 a stick?
they are.
This
We
is about
purchased for
7 by 650.
yeah, they're like
under
175,
7.
179 a box.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a box of 25.
Yeah,
Correct,
25, and I mean it's a pretty hefty stick. It's pretty large robusto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I believe
5.5?
Yeah, 5.5 by 52, 54.
Yeah.
Maybe 54. More of a 54.
It's like it's over an hour smoke.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So, that rounds out my kind of Cuban cigar reviews of late. And again, the winner of all the ones I've talked about, go get yourself some San Cristobal de la Habana La Puntas,
Ah, yes.
because they are hands down my favorite out of all the ones that I just mentioned.
Awesome. Let's talk about budget smokes, actually. It's not on the show notes because I didn't have a chance to update it.
Sure.
But this week, I believe it was Jeff from C&C Cigars sent us some samples. These guys are the former owners of Cusano, who
Yes.
got bought by Davidoff, started C&C recently. Sent us a sample of all 3 of their new premium smokes in the Toro size. Haven't had a chance to try them all, but did smoke the Corojo last night. And I can honestly say it's probably the best $4 smoke I've had in a long time. Construction was A+. It has a nice spice that creeps up on you slowly. At first I was like, this is a Corojo? There's no spice on it.
Right.
By the second, third, I'm like, oh, here it comes. And it just builds. Enjoyable cigar.
It's interesting you mentioned that.
Um,
Cusano made a Corojo that was part of their gift set.
The 1997. Oh,
It
God.
was good stuff, huh?
Fantastic Corojo
Oh,
smoke.
nice.
Very, very
Oh,
good.
that
Interesting.
That's why they just couldn't get the crop of what they wanted to do, and hence Davidoff, hence Camacho took them over, and I just never understood why they did. What do you think of when you think of Camacho, Corojo?
Yeah.
And they never picked that
Now,
up.
what's the Cusano 18?
That's it comes in a Connecticut double
Double Corona.
double Coronas
size, yeah.
and a Gordo and a
Yeah.
Robusto. Then they got a Habanos. They're good, but
I got
they're
a friend of
staple.
mine, Dave Kennedy,
Yep.
loves that cigar.
Really?
Loves it. Loves it.
Yeah,
I did not
the
realize.
double Connecticut's are Oh, good. But I mean, the Corojo was something that everybody, that was the staple of that cigar.
It's got unique flavors on that Corojo.
Oh,
And It's a
absolutely.
little torpedo. It's a torpedo that comes in
Yo.
gift sets.
And
It's
the
really
10th
good.
anniversary is another one that flew under the
If
radar.
you can find that Cusano gift set, there's a picture of it on our site too in the Stogies feed.
Is there?
Search for
Okay.
Cusano. Yeah, you'll see the gift
They're
set
not
in
the
there.
easiest. And they around MSRP is about $80 on that.
Wow. Yeah.
And you get quite a few sticks in the gift set too. Yeah.
This thing impressed me for the price point,
Yeah.
frankly. I mean, I recommend everybody go check it out.
Nice.
It's at least a $5. And considering the price point. Haven't smoked the Maduro or the Connecticut shade yet, but I'm certainly going to check them out in the next week or two.
Very nice. I want to talk about one of my fellow Armenian cigar makers out there.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, we have Avo, who's one of them, who makes the Avo LE, right?
Never realized that. Yeah.
He's a fellow Armenian, and of course, Paul Gamarian. Now, what's interesting is both Avo and Paul are musicians,
Absolutely.
which I find very interesting. Both Armenian, both musicians, both make fabulous cigars. Paul Gamarian Gourmet Series Robusto. This is an excellent medium-bodied smoke, one of my favorite little Robusto sizes that his sticks tend to pour copious amounts of smoke from them.
Yes, they do.
I appreciated that. It burns fast, but gives great flavors. It's a good morning or middle of the day smoke. I'd say these Robustos are box worthy. I mean, with age, I think they are. Now, price point, I don't know. It's kind of different. I think this was gifted to me, probably by Stogie Santa, and so I'm not sure what the MSRP is going. I think it's a little high. I think it's
Peaches tend to be a little expensive.
Yeah.
but,
They're around the $8.99.
Yeah, I mean between $8 and $10. If you could get it for the $6-7 range, I would definitely go buy a
Which
box.
is not going to happen unless you go on, going to bid on.
You got to get them on
something.
closeout or auction or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really happen.
No,
with
it doesn't.
PG.
But I thought it was a great smoke. The other Paul Gamarian was the Paul Gamarian Reserva Exclusiva Grand Panatella. Now,
yes.
what turned me on to these was a couple things. One, we did the Corona size. We picked up some Coronas, and those are
Box worthy, hands down. I think I rated it as the Oasis, actually.
yeah.
With some age on
Halfwheel,
'em.
halfwheel.com has this listed on their site, and I want to say they did 2 reviews, or maybe they just did 1 and gave it a 94. It's one of their highest rated cigars on halfwheel.com, and that Halfwheel, as most of us know, right, was the Smoke and Stogie before.
right.
And I mean, they review all of the rare.
Now, Smoke and
stuff.
Stogie had done, I believe it was a review of 50 Lanceros back in the spring, and that was part of that review. Is that
I think
correct?
so. Yeah, maybe.
And I want to say that particular cigar came out one of the top rated of those reviews.
I'd say it's my favorite Lancero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that definitely. I mean, this cigar is deep, rich flavors, subtle spice, sweetness, clouds of smoke everywhere. Just awesome. Burns.
I'll
great.
tell you what, out of the box of Corona I bought, I've already blown through half of them. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really loving them.
Very
and
smokable.
You gave me one of these tonight, and I can't wait to try it.
Yeah.
So.
This one had some age on it.
Yeah.
The cellophane was a little yellow.
Oh, so did the Coronas. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So, Reserva Exclusiva. Great line from Paul Gamarian if you can find him.
Are those still made, Stogie Santa?
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so
No,
either.
they're not. They're discontinued.
That would explain why someone's very stingy with them.
I was very surprised that you had a few when you opened up the humidor today.
I had to
Oh,
beg.
no, you wouldn't have got those. if
And
someone didn't
grovel.
I was
speak
like,
up.
look at that there. Thank you. And I believe you said to me, take one now before I change my mind.
Yes,
That's what you
yes.
said to me, Paul. So,
Yeah, I only got 4.
uh,
I smoked 1 and I had 4 others.
yeah,
And I
you
gave
me
one to Tim.
So I appreciate
Oh, they're
it.
they're good, yeah. And the fact that they're not being made anymore is just that's too bad, really. It's a great blend.
I think I'll set that one aside for a special occasion.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. You wanna go on any one of yours or?
yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Go ahead.
The El Tiante Rosada Pyramid. A gift from Big Al, loyal
Big
listener
Al.
to the podcast.
Yeah,
Thank
yell
you,
out to
Al.
Big Al.
Props to Big Al.
That's it.
The cigar is the creation of former Red Sox pitcher Luis Tiante.
Oh yeah.
And his son
Tiante?
Tiante.
Yeah,
Yeah, his
Tiante?
son
Was he a-
his son Danny.
His son Danny's.
Louis Tiante was like a very tall black pitcher for the
No,
Red
not
Sox.
very
no?
tall. Very stout.
Stout.
From the
Smaller
70s.
gentleman. Tall and lanky.
Yeah,
no?
he's from the 70s, pitcher for the Red Sox
Yeah.
in the Red Sox Hall of Fame, actually.
Nice. We're Red Sox, Patriots, Bruins, Celtics fans here.
Well respected among Red
Much
Sox
of people's
Nation.
chagrin.
You know, the cigar, well constructed, a lot of wood up front with the right amount of spice. Honestly, bored me a little bit by the second half. Not bad, not great. I recommend people checking it out for themselves.
Nice.
I think maybe it's more of a flavor profile thing. It didn't fit my preferred profile, but no complaints about the cigar in general. So.
Nice. Let's see here. I'll move kind of quickly through the rest. Fuente King T Tubo. Harsh.
Ooh, what was that?
Sour tasting.
Wow.
Tasted bad. No flavors. I'd say lawn mulch.
Oh,
Wow.
I don't know if it
first,
was-
That's the first one of the show?
No. The unbanded he
I
gave
gave
me
you.
was the first one.
That's right. That's
First
right.
one from Paul. So
This I just did not like this cigar, and I tell you what, Fuente, I think has a lot of underrated sticks. I think that their regular production stuff, some of it anyway, is really good, priced right, and it has great flavor. This was not one of their winners, unfortunately. So that was just my assessment. I don't know, I only smoked one. I had another one.
You know what they say about cigar smoking? It's like college. You got to experiment.
That's
you know?
right. I did experimented it and went horribly wrong. So
Hopefully it's not on YouTube.
then I had to light up a Padron Family Reserve 45th Natural.
Oh, that's terrible.
And,
Jesus.
it's
quite the comparison there. Quite the comparison.
so for a cigar that the only thing that it may in fact lacks is complexity. It's one of my most favorite smokes of all time. I mean, burn, construction, flavor, smoking experience. It's just a pleasure to smoke these. I mean, at $25, I almost want a little complexity, but since it's hitting home runs out of the park in every other category on this stick, that it makes it very, very special.
Now, was that the natural or the Maduro?
This was the natural,
Okay.
and I like both the natural and the Maduro and the
Right.
45th. I do.
They do.
They're fantastic smokes. I just get personally, I can't get past the price point.
Oh,
It's-
you're amongst all the people.
you take a draw, there's 50 cents. You take another draw, there's 50 cents. But if you can
Well,
afford,
Half Wheel was reviewing some sticks, and like every draw was $25. It was like a $400 cigars.
That's just brutal.
Yeah, brutal.
so you can swing it. Hey, go for it, man.
Yeah, I mean it has
You
to
only
be
live
really
once,
special.
so.
I don't know. When you get above $25, $30 for a cigar, you start to wonder, right?
Well, everybody has a cutoff point.
Yeah, but I mean, this cigar
You know.
This cigar delivers though for $25.
Oh, it delivers.
This
There's
thing,
no doubt
I mean,
it
but
delivers.
because there is some Opus X, for example, that are charging exorbitant prices.
Yeah,
and I can tell you, smoke some of that stuff, and it's not all worth it. This cigar at $25, it delivers. You're not going to spend $25 on this smoke and be disappointed.
Yeah.
For the
I
most part, I
agree.
think
No doubt about
95% of the people that are going to smoke this cigar and pay $25 are like, wow, it was expensive, but you know what? I really enjoyed it. So
And 95% of the people, it's going to be a special occasion smoke.
absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I mean, I had to save up for a long time to buy a box.
Yep.
You know, so and that was only because it was special, treat myself kind of fun.
Every day is special.
Every day, every day you should light up a 45th anniversary Padron, says Stogie Santa. Okay, so
want me to continue.
yeah, go ahead. You know what? Why don't you do your La Roqueza?
Larqueza, okay. I'll skip ahead.
Oh, did we skip one? I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I can skip around.
Sure, skip around.
I'm flexible.
Well, you know,
I'm
the
like,
numbers are just there for
I'm
reference.
like a yoga instructor.
We're
Paul.
gonna do.
I had to go there.
I'm now
Oh,
picturing
wow.
Tim in yoga pants.
Yeah.
Wow, Rocco the dog is looking strangely. out there.
I need a drink while you do this. Thank you.
Okay.
Yo.
You know, Larqueza,
Give me the salute to the sun, Tim.
recent discovery for me. I had reviewed the number one a while back on the site. Recently came across some number fours, which are the Corona Gordas, through fellow BOTL member Corey from my hometown. Rock on. Hooked me up with a few of these. Loved it, man. Smoked it last Friday night. Great smoked. With the number one, I had some burn issues.
Sorry, you pass me beers.
Passing Paul a beer. Had some burn issues with the number one. Really wanted to try some of the other sizes, and this thing was dead on. It just poured flavored, poured smoke, great burn and draw. Lots of rich flavors, a nice finish, lots of cocoa. Definitely box worthy. And I believe somewhere along the line, Pete Johnson actually mentioned this is one of Pepin's favorites.
Yes.
Which surprised him because it doesn't sell as well.
No, it doesn't. Unfortunately.
You know what? I have a theory as why it doesn't sell well, because the name Tatuaje is not.
It's not on it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the finish on this smoke is particularly the Corona, not so much the number 1, but the number 4 reminded me a lot of the recent TAA release.
Interesting.
The finish in particular. I recommend checking it out, man. I don't think you're going to go wrong. They are pricey, but you know what? It's a good constructed stick with some great flavors, and I think you're going to enjoy it.
Nice.
So.
I smoked a Davidoff Reserva number 12. Got this at the local B&M for $19. It's a Davidoff limited edition, and it really wasn't all that great. I mean, it was. I mean, it wasn't a bad smoke at all. It was very enjoyable. It just didn't deliver the flavors that I would expect for paying $20 for a stick. Nowhere even close. Not even the same category as the Colorado Claro wrapped cigars that they put out, which kind of was I was hoping for.
Yeah.
This one just does not. I mean, it's a very smooth smoke. It burned really well, but it just didn't deliver in the flavor department. Fell short in that department. So
again, you got to try things out sometimes. And,
you got to, you got to try them. So
I mean, back to those Colorado Claros that I reviewed,
those are just
and that you gave me.
magic.
I said box worthy, and you know what? I did buy a box this week, and worth every penny in my book. So.
And speaking of Tatuaje. We got I got 2 and you got 1.
Yes, I do.
All right, so
let me go.
I'll go, then you go, and then I'll go.
Well, you have more than me.
I did the Taínos, which I'm sure means something in Spanish, which we probably should have looked up for the show. But
we don't have the great Mike Perez with us.
Yes, we do not. We do not. This is a fairly large stick, almost a double Corona.
Not quite. But
not quite. But Taínos is like a size. It refers to the size because I've seen some of the Cuban blends.
And some of that, what he does, the tea part, all the series he has, it's the tea is one of the part that he spells his dog Hunter out. Yeah, the Unicos.
Yeah, I read that
Noella,
once.
yeah, and so that was in tribute to his dog.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is part of the Brown Label series.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And all
Sometimes
the Brown...
referred to as the Miami.
No,
yes.
Oh, that's in Miami. The only one that's not in Miami is the Kappa.
Yes,
that's in Esteli.
Sometimes referred to as the Selection Day. Help me out. Casser.
No. I got a brain cramp. Yep.
Yeah. But correct me if I'm wrong. Everything from that line is a traditional Cuban size. Is that correct?
Well, this is true because if you look at
Taínos is a Cuban size. I've seen the La Gloria Cubana Taínos, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen Cuban cigars in that size.
But again, it's more of a tribute to his dog. I mean, not the name of the Taínos, but the first name of each letter of the cigar. That, like I said, Noella, Unicos, and I can't remember the other one. What's the Taínos? There was one with an E and an R. I don't something with an R.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Regios.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
Whatever. So much for the.
So
I'm sorry.
I had to say the smoke was kind of boring. I mean, some cocoa flavors, earth. I mean, that's about it. Drawn construction to me were subpar. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but I wouldn't go seeking these out again.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one had some age on it too. It just, like I said, I think a lot of the flavor issues were burn and construction, possibly related.
Yeah.
So.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, I smoked a Tat HCS, which was an exclusive made for Holtz.
Right.
Actually, almost forgot about the stick. Big Al gave me the
Big
stick
Al.
several months ago. I believe it came out of the Saints and Sinners pack that he got from when he joined the club. And the Scott Coop had recently reviewed it, which kind of prompted me to go digging in my humidor and find it and review it. Not a bad stick, not fantastic either. What was that face, Papa?
I was holding the lighter upside down. I burned a hole in my pants.
Anyways, I mean, I think it's worth a try. They're still available. They've been out for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. See what you think.
Very cool. So you gave it the $5.
I gave it the $5.
Worth a try. I had a Tatuaje Reserva SW. Nice flavors. I call it the classic peat flavors. You know, it's tough for me to put a more descriptive kind of explanation to that, but you know, you get those classic Pete Johnson flavors out of it.
Now the SW is highly rated in the reserve line.
And I tell you,
SW
tell you what
Maduro,
though,
that was
over
hot.
the regular, the Tainos or some of the other stuff in the regular line, the Reserve SW has some great flavors.
Yeah.
I think my problem with this one, I called it richness, the mild sweet flavor. If this stick had held together, I think it would have been really nice. However, it had some huge holes in it.
Yeah,
and
this
the
one
wrapper,
blew up on you,
It
right?
like blew up. The wrapper just came right off it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it was really my humidor.
There's a lot of dryness in the air right now. I mean.
Yeah, but nah, I don't think it's my humidor.
You didn't drop it, did you?
It was in my Avalo, so and I
Yeah.
didn't drop it. So I
After you
just
visit-
think the stick was. I got concerned after the Taino was in the Reserve SW. I'm like, is something wrong? What's going on? Am I need to crank up the humidity? What's going on? But now this stick just was doomed from the start,
Oh,
which was too bad because the flavors were good. So
time to revisit then.
I think it's worth revisiting. Maybe getting 5
Yeah.
of the Reserva SW. And I've had other ones that have been really good.
I have not tried that particular size in the Reserva, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to visit myself.
Yeah. It has some construction issues.
My last one on my list, one you gave me actually a while back, Paul, the Gloria Cubana Series R. And correct me if I'm wrong, this thing had some age on it. It looked like it had some age on it. It tasted like it had some age on it.
Oh, this was from a closeout
Okay.
from Stogie Santa
What was it?
a
Okay.
while ago.
Oh, that was what,
2
3
years
ago.
It was 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
I figured it had,
and it
at
had
least a
some
couple
age on it
years.
before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you're talking a minimum.
It smelled
like,
stinky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
What'd you think of it? I'm curious now.
I've smoked these before. This is probably one of the better ones I've ever smoked. Definitely more balanced and smooth than some of the ones I've had in the past. Not my typical flavor profile. There's a lot of earth, there's a lot of hay, some leather, what I call barnyard. However, because of the balance and the smoothness on it, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good.
I was able to take the thing down at lunchtime, right after lunch or the full
Now,
lunch. and
So this was a like kind of like a large robusto size.
It
right?
was,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I know exactly which
was
one
it,
it
number
was.
7?
I don't remember. To be
Yeah,
honest.
it was a
Robusto probably
natural.
5.
It was a natural wrapper. It
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 wasn't
was a
like
natural, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Those smelled stinky.
Yeah, the aroma coming off
Yeah.
of them was not pleasant.
Now, it's interesting.
I love ass.
Yeah.
That was part of my mold debacle, and was in with a bunch that had contracted some serious mold in them.
Thank you, Paul.
And
Thank you for giving that to me.
I removed all the moldy ones. I
I
did
gave
the
them to Tim.
refrigerator. Yeah, I did the freezer refrigerator thing. I rehumidified them and took care of them and kept an very close eye on them to make sure there was no mold. I did not put them in any other humidor, and it was several months before. It was from the summer, so it was several months before I would even think about giving it to anyone.
Yeah.
So I was sure there was no mold left in any of those sticks, but I was concerned that after that process, that something would happen to it. To go back to our other lawn mulch one that I gave you, was in the same humidor,
Yeah.
same process. So it goes to show you that that one I gave you was truly lawn mulch, and that the other cigars are totally fine
Yeah.
because it was in the same humidor, very close together, and went through the same process. So
Now, in the end, I gave this thing to Angler. It's not a bad smoke. But it's also not something that would keep my interest for long. So
Right.
it's something I would smoke while I was working in the yard. And correct me if I'm wrong, but EPC is one that blended this for them. Is that correct?
That was,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Not
a long
anymore.
time ago. That man has got talent, but he's come a long way
oh yeah.
in a short time. So
The last one on my list here is a Cohiba Corona, gifted to me by Stogie Santa. It was a good smoke, and I find that I like the regular Cohiba line over the Siglo line, probably by a factor of 3 to 5. The regular Cohiba line is more full body and full flavor to me, and the Siglo seems like it kind of fades out and gets a little too mild and doesn't produce as much flavor as I like. And I enjoy the mild and medium cigars, I think even more so than a really full body strength cigar overall. And so this was a really great cigar. I enjoyed it, and kind of helped me sort through some of the Cohiba line.
excellent. How's your cane doing?
Oh, it's fabulous.
Excellent.
I
Have you
love
any
the,
Mine's gone out twice now.
Mm-mm.
Maybe it's just I'm talking too
Yeah,
much.
that's probably.
Mine hasn't gone out.
Yeah, I'm getting great flavors off of it. I got a little wrapper peel going on here, but again, I've had to relight it twice. So
Right. No, mine's constructed very, very nicely.
Nice
burning
oily,
great.
nice oily wrap.
yeah, mine's drawing
Set up.
great. I'm getting great amount of smoke, especially for the size. So
Very good. With that, we'll take a very short break and come back with a tech segment, Stogie Tech segment, Building the Wine Humidor Part 2. I call this segment Preparation and Shelving. We'll do that after a short break. And we're back here on the Stogie Geeks Show. Thanks everyone for sticking with us and hanging out through our long list of smokes that we just covered. And going on to our Stogie Tech segment while we open up a bottle of whiskey that was gifted, or this is bourbon? Bourbon that was gifted to me, sorry. Well, we'll get to that in just a moment. Wanted to introduce the next segment. First, everyone, of course, visit our website, www.stogiegeeks.com, for all the latest reviews and stogies that we've been smoking. You can, of course, listen to all of our shows and watch all of our shows. We do video and audio for every single show here on the Stogie Geeks, and you can get all of that on our website. So once you've settled into a refrigerator and found the one that you like and you've made the purchase, it's come in, you've unboxed it, you've looked at it in awe and petted it, stroked it, polished it up, cleaned it all up, gotten all the little bits of styrofoam off it from packaging. Now you're ready to do the preparation inside what you want to do for shelving inside of your brand new, what we'll call a wineador. So
now,
I should say first you're going to do the happy dance that it's come in.
yes,
I did. I always,
Now, before we proceed, this is
gotta have a happy
part
dance.
2 of a segment you
Ongoing
did 2
series.
episodes.
I'd say we're
So,
probably going to round it out with a part 3
okay.
to finish it up.
I just want to bring everybody up to date
Yeah.
who might be new.
So now, before you go crazy and do anything like put cigars or humidification systems even inside of this thing, you're going to want to do a couple of things. First thing you're going to want to do is you want to clean it thoroughly. I recommend that you remove all of the packaging, open up the refrigerator first, follow all of the instructions carefully. You'll likely not be plugging this in for 24 hours to let it settle. In the meantime, while it's settling, and I found this is to be very important, again, it kind of reminds me of printers. They get jostled around and shipping can do damage. Same thing. My refrigerator that I'm using for wine said to let it sit for 24 hours before you plug it in. So this 24-hour period gives you the time to take a clean sponge, maybe wring it out in some distilled water, use some baking soda or vinegar. Careful if you put both together, right? Doesn't that we used to use in like 6th grade to make a volcano,
Yes.
right? Yeah, you don't
Little
want to
red
mix them
dye.
together. Yeah, don't mix them together. Use either baking soda with a little water or vinegar with a little bit of distilled water, because they tend to have a smell, and you want to get that smell, that new plastic kind of smell out of it. And you want to wipe it down, and then take some baking soda and leave it in that fridge for 24 hours to soak up any remaining odors. Would be my recommendation. Stogie Stan, do you have any, as you work on that bottle there, do you have any other recommendations for cleaning? Is that pretty much
No, that's about
pretty much standard, right? Yeah.
very much so.
Yeah, I mean, you could even skip that step so much and just kind of leave it open for 24 hours, and that would probably do the same thing, right? But I'm saying wipe it down is probably your best thing, and put some baking soda in there.
10 minutes later, we get the bottle of bourbon open.
We got the bourbon open here.
A little happy birthday to
What
Paul,
is
by the
that,
way.
Paul?
This is, what does that say? Picard's?
Pritchard's.
Pritchard's.
Are you looking at me to pronounce that?
No.
Okay.
Benjamin Pritchard's double chocolate bourbon whiskey. Straight bourbon whiskey with natural flavors. Hold it up here for the camera.
Very nice.
Very nice. You guys are more than welcome to have some if you can find a glass.
That's okay. I'll put
If
it
you
in.
need to drink from the bottle. Drink from the bottle, that's fine too.
No, we won't do that.
So drinking bourbon while you let your humidor dry out with a little baking soda inside it.
And your 6-year-old to play with the baking soda and vinegar.
Yes.
Oh,
Wow, that's really good. I like that.
the
Good bourbon.
Oh, yes. Very, very.
I like it.
Okay.
So the next thing you want to do is decide what to do with the drain plug. Now, you could certainly do nothing.
Right.
You could leave it there. That's fine too. But on all fridges, there's this little hole in the bottom that empties out into a tray, which is for condensation. You can plug this hole with silicone. I've seen people online. If you do this with silicone, make sure you keep the baking soda in there to absorb those smells. And make sure all that smell is gone before you think about putting anything else in it, including the shelving or any kind of Spanish cedar that you're going to use. You can also just put a piece of duct tape over the hole, which is I've done in some of ours. If you want to plug the hole, which you don't want the hole, you don't want some of your humidity to leak out through that hole, which is why you may want to plug it. If you do get condensation, I have seen some people would put a bag of beads over the hole so that if you do get condensation, the beads can soak up that condensation. So decide what you're going to do. You may want to see if it breeds condensation, do something about it later. The problem is, going back and using the silicone method, I mean, it's going to require that you take everything out of it because you don't want that silicone smell to get in anything. So I've had to go back and plug them up. Piece of duct tape works just fine. So,
do you use the Pretty Kitty duct tape?
You can use whatever kind of it. You know what? Its style is totally up to you at this point. No one's really going to see it, so you could use pink. You could use Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty duct tape would work just fine. Yeah. Yes. Remove the shelves. So once you power on the device, my suggestion is to leave the baking soda in there because maybe as it starts up, it may tend to have a little smell or newness as the parts start moving in there and the fans start going. Remove those wire shelves from the fridge. I don't recommend that you use the shelves because those shelves that come in there are made for wine bottles. They're not made for cigars. So they're going to have like bumps and ridges in them, and you're going to lose space. So you probably, in a pinch, if you don't have anything else, you could use them, but my suggestion is to not use the metal shelves.
Not only that, but Spanish cedar, the whole point of it is to help hold the humidity in the humidor.
So you want to have, you could put boxes in there, and the boxes are made of cedar, but, I take the wire shelves out. And put them away. Don't throw them out by any stretch, because if you ever decide to use it as a wine refrigerator later on, for whatever reason, you have the shelving. So now you need to decide what you're going to do for shelving or drawers or what have you. And after you've powered on your fridge, set the temperature to the highest setting, typically 66. Now it's either time to do some woodworking or buy some shelves. Now, I bought Spanish cedar online for about $100. It was way more than what I would need to buy, to build shelves or even drawers. So you could probably spend half that. It's typically measured in linear feet or board feet, so you may have to do a little math to figure out how much you need. And what I do is I just, cut the shelves so they'll come with, ridges or guides on the side, little ridges for the shelves to slide in. I just cut my shelves to the right width, and you can slide them in there.
Wait a second. Your wife lets you near power tools?
Yeah, I know. It's scary, isn't it?
Okay.
I have lots of power tools.
Gotcha.
I used the, miter saw, table saw, whatever you got to do.
Wow.
Cut those bad boys to size, slide them in there. Now you're going to put some holes in them. You just use a drill, make some holes in them. You can get fancy, use a router, make some nice little, ridges in there.
I like the accent on that, by the way.
The router. Yeah, you can use the router. And make your own shelves. Make sure you're using Spanish cedar. You don't want to use the regular cedar that you would use in a closet. Use the Spanish cedar. And then you can also cover up the glass door with Spanish cedar too. Light is not generally your friend. And the more Spanish cedar that you can fit in there that doesn't take up a lot of room, typically there's a lot of space between like where the door shuts and where the shelves begin, so that if a bottle sticks out a little bit, you can still shut the door. So I find that just to be a nice little buffer there. So if you wanted to cover the glass with something, you certainly could cover that with Spanish cedar. Now, you can also get fancy and order your shelving and drawers online. There are 2 websites that I found to do that. One of them is Chazadors.
Correct.
Chazador humidors.
Which we talked about in the last episode.
Chazador humidors. There's also one called wineadors.com, which is a place out of Texas, which makes them as well. So there's a couple places online you can buy them. Again, one is Chazadors with a CH, and the other is wineadors. When I publish this, I'll put links to those websites out there so you can find them more easily. Now, they list the different models and make shelving and drawers to specifically fit that model refrigerator that you've purchased. So when you go to their website, you'll see Edge Star, Vino Temp, whatever the case may be, and you'll be able to purchase drawers and shelves specifically designed and made to fit your model of refrigerator. So They can also custom make the drawers or shelves. If you send them the measurements, they'll show you how to measure it, and they'll custom make them as well. So typically you'd put in a couple of drawers for singles and maybe some shelves for boxes. It's up to you if you want to do all shelves, if you want to do all drawers. Depends on what you're after. If you like to take stuff out of the boxes and put them in drawers, that's fine. If most people have a couple of drawers for singles, then shelves for boxes. I find, at least with the Cuban boxes, since they have the date on them,
Yep.
even though you lose a little space because you're going to take some out, so you're going to smoke some, may not be a full box, I like to keep them in the original boxes. So, I mean, it's totally a preference at that point. You can also purchase the Spanish cedar trays. They're about $10 a piece. They hold about 50 sticks. That's the ones that I have in my Avalo. I have several, quite a few of the trays in there, and they're made of Spanish cedar, and they come with a divider inside of the trays, so you could stack the trays and put them in. The trays are slotted on the bottom and have handles on the side, so they get good airflow through them, even if you're stacking them on top of each other. You know, the holes on the side that they would be for handles allow a little air to get in, and there's holes in the bottom that allow for a lot of air to flow, and airflow is definitely important.
Now, I'm going to stop here real quick because that answers one question I had about airflow.
Yes.
Second question, though, the shelves you built yourself,
Yes.
where did you get the Spanish cedar?
I ordered online from like Rockler or a woodworking site. What's the store? Woodcraft. Woodcraft.
I was going to say mill store, maybe. Or...
Yeah, it's Woodcraft.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's lots of such you can order specialty wood. And like I said, it was about $100
I'm curious.
for a box.
I've never done it before, so okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I haven't done some woodworking. I was familiar with those sites, and they sold some wood, so
excellent.
That's what I bought.
Was there a minimum that you had to buy, or?
Yeah, you had to. I forget what the minimum was.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but you could do some research to find. I mean, if you have a local woodworking store, it might be worth a trip to go check them out and see if they have any in stock, or can order you some and order the quantity that you need. They may even be able to, likely they'll be able to help you size how much you need if you give them some measurements and help you do them. Because like I said, sometimes it's board feet, sometimes it's linear feet, sometimes it's screen. It all depends.
And if you're anything like me, order extra because you're gonna mess up. Because power tools and me, it just doesn't work out. Measure
twice. Cut once.
Yeah. My case, measure 3 times and cut twice.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So, so there you go. So no matter what you decide to do, make sure that you wipe down your Spanish cedar trays, shelves, or drawers with distilled water first would be my suggestion. Again, the same technique that you'd use for seasoning, you're going to use on these trays, shelves, or drawers, or even if you're just going to your local B&M and see if they have extra boxes. It doesn't hurt to wipe them down just as if you were seasoning it. You know, make sure you wipe them down with a clean sponge, like we talked about before, that it turns from a light brown to a dark brown. Then put them in your humidor, put in your humidification device, let them settle and hold a humidity setting, you know, for 24 hours before you even think about putting cigars in there.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, the important thing is that you let your device air out or clean it and leave some baking soda in it to get that newness smell out of it. And also make sure that you put some kind of shelving in there so that you can store your cigars however you want to store them.
The key is here, this is something to preserve your investment into your hobby. And I think we really need to...
It's a good point, too.
Kind of hammer that home is...
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain point into your hobby of cigar smoking, nothing worse than coming back and finding X amount of dollars of your collection, with fungus or beetles or low humidity, or it's that's the whole point of this. So
and you know, if you don't put any Spanish cedar in there, it's a very excellent point. But just having the plastic, it's not going to absorb any excess humidity. So if your humidity gets too high, your cigars are going to be absorbing that extra humidity and breeding things like beetles and mold. The other thing I've seen people do is, and this takes a little more woodworking skills, but they built a liner around the inside of it. So the back, the top, the bottom, and the sides, they've, you know, glued. And I'm not sure if there's a specific glue that you would use. I think once it dries, it's
wood glue is wood glue.
Wood glue is wood glue, and then once it dries, it's pretty innocuous. But they've made a Spanish cedar lining around the whole inside of it as well. So that's kind of a neat little trick too. And then they've stacked the inside with boxes.
To go back to what you're saying with Beatles, when people are buying cigars in the summertime, especially summertime, the heat's high and whatever, and you're buying Cubans by the box or even fibers, what I strongly recommend is that I have a 1-1-1 method. That is, when you bring in your new cigars, bring it into your refrigerator for 1 day, into your freezer another day, 24-hour period, back into your refrigerator, 24-hour period. That way there, again, we're going back with the Beatles. You don't know where these cigars are going. You can do all this preparation work. You don't know where these cigars, they could be sitting on the dock. They would sit in the back of a UPS truck, Federal Express, whatever you have. So it's a key ingredient, because a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator or the freezer. Well, once they put the frost-free refrigerators, that's gone. There's no humidity. So get that out of your mind. Putting cigars, leaving them in the freezer. But again,
I think
back
the
to 1-1-1 tool.
The next segment we'll talk about circulation and fans,
Okay.
humidification and kind of
options
maintenance and monitoring. So I wanted to kind of dedicate the whole segment to the preparation and shelving that you want to put inside of your systems. Again, Spanish cedar being very important. The configuration, totally up to you. I don't think there's any right or wrong, right?
I mean, like you're saying, drawers, shelves, whatever you want to play with.
How many cigars, Stogie, saying you think you're fitting in, regardless of the configuration? I mean, what's the range? I mean,
I would say
300 to 500, maybe.
Depending on size-wise, max 5.
Yeah,
You know what
I mean, most of the refrigerators I've seen, right, are only 28 to 32 bottles at the most.
Right.
So you're not going to get, regardless of how you configure it, you're not going to get more than 500. Now, you had a good point about not putting too many in there, right?
Right.
Well, that's like
What-
any
so what's
humidor. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to.
Why don't you want to overfill it? Because I think the tendency is for people to want to
Again, when you overfill it, we're going back to the air circulation.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
again, that's where everything gets dormant. More importantly, think about if you're using a passive type of humidification unit, when I'm saying like hot felt beads or whatever you want to use, if you have no air movement, you have nothing at all, the air is stale. It's just not good, especially if you're not using any kind of a fan, which ironically I don't have in mind, but I have space in between everything. You don't want on top of it. So what you got to do is smoke, smoke, smoke.
See, you hit it. You heard it here first.
Absolutely. I mean, even with desktop humidors, I think I've said it in the past, you do not want to overfill those things. It's not going to hold humidity correctly. It's not going to get the right air circulation.
Exactly.
And I speak from experience here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's, you know.
Definitely. So that's our little segment here on part 2 on your wine humidor. So we covered choosing the appropriate refrigerator and doing the preparation and shelving, dealing with the drain plug hole, setting the temperature to the highest setting, and I think you really need to let it settle before you put your cigars in there, right? You don't want to.
Right.
You don't want to rush putting your cigars in there.
No, there's no need.
Yeah. So if you do all that, you should be in good shape. In the next segment, we'll talk about humidification, circulation, and then any kind of maintenance that you need to do over time on your refrigerator.
Excellent.
So, thanks everyone for listening to Stogie Geeks.
Before we check out.
How is the CAIN F Lancer doing?
Oh, man. It's got some great sweetness on the last third.
Oops. That was louder than I thought. Sorry about
I'm really enjoying this last third, actually.
I am too.
Yeah.
It seems to pick up in intensity. Has a great, really oily wrapper that it's just it's really nice to look at. As I smoke it, I've been kind of noticing the wrapper and how it's burning. I only had to relight once.
I like to see how these things age. It is a little strong for me, personally.
I mean, especially it's getting down to this final third.
The
Lajero's really kicking in now.
But that sweetness, oof.
Oh, you visit that 6 months to a year from now, you're going to lose that little bit of that nicotine flavor.
It does have that nicotine flavor. The canes that I smoked, even with a year of age on some of the ones, I was Stogie Santa. I told him I wanted to try the cane line and purchased the Torpedo. Regular, I think it was a CAIN F Torpedo.
Right.
And I let it sit in my humidor for a year. When I smoked it, it still had that overpowering nicotine flavor that I didn't care for. This has a hint of it, which I'm liking it in lesser proportions. I'm liking that little bit of Lajero flavor.
I think the format has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And learning how to smoke a Lancero, a lot of people who are smoking a bigger
Don't
ring
smoke
cigar,
it too fast. Yeah.
Right, nice, easy, take it easy, and
Yeah, I've been taking my time with it.
Oh, you have to. You have to. If not, you're going to get a great cigar buzz.
Very good. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see everyone on the next episode 11, where we'll smoke something good and tell you about it.
Excellent.
Good night.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone.